Welcome everybody to my Bajerski YouTube channel. Beautiful day to talk about a fascinating subject, one which is often asked of me and often put out there to the universe, and it's a sad one really, and I think we've all gone through it if we've ever had the experience of being called. So what's the topic of conversation today? Kind of losing friends and family, and losing jobs, losing your way from those that were close, and everything that was within our life, because we uh, were chosen, called. Some people call it the awakening, and it's unfortunate that each individual soul awakens in their own moment and are chosen to a degree, I believe. I think we are, and it really upsets a lot of people, very much so, because the difference between yourself when you were asleep, or let's say in the dark, to now being awake and now in the light, then you see, as soon as you're in that light, you can see around you everything is darkness. People are in darkness, and therefore it's a challenging situation. And I think the only way to embrace truth, I think the Buddha did this actually, and I did mention it, and there's a twin energy to the Buddha. The Buddha had like a family life. I think he had one or two children. I'm not sure. I didn't study that much, but I do know he was meant to be a king in, I believe, India, and decided that when his awakening came, when he was chosen, he had to leave his wife and family and set off on a journey to find, truth. And truth isn't embraced these days. Most people prefer to be in darkness. So it's very challenging for those who try to embrace truth once the awakening starts. And like I said, one of the things that may heal you a little bit is I came to terms with this understanding that I don't know whether it's the ego or whether it's the program or whether it's just within our nature being kind and caring. We seek approval by everything, everybody, anybody. And the problem with that is that that's what halts our spiritual path and journey. And when you are in the awakening stages, when you are being called, there's something that transitions within you to a point where you say, "I don't care," and that's not an awful thing. It's actually a wonderful thing. Like your friends talk about you, "I don't care." Your family disregard you and abandon you and just tell you to go. "I don't care," and the reason why is because it's not about the need of love and appreciation and the need to be heard by those. It's simply truth should outweigh anything else. So now your truth, your path, your journey. Your eyes are awakened now because you've woken up, and now it's light, it's morning. No longer you were in the dark, and now you're starting to see the world as it truly is. You're not somebody who switches on the TV and watches the Olympics and all that darkness, and most people just don't see what's going on at all. And if they did, it's only a flicker of a moment, and then they're back to what else is on after that, or what bread and circuses are we about to watch? Where's the popcorn? Where's the Coca-Cola? And when you awaken to these things, it's a challenge, because you're now no longer in that position where you were before. Your position has now changed. The big boss, spiritual, the spirit, the source, whatever you want to call it, has chosen you. It's your time to awaken, and just like any position, whether it's family or whether it's schooling, whether it's work, whatever it is, when you've been asked to do a different get to a different position, a higher level in a workspace, you will obviously be hated by those. No longer are you familiar with your work colleagues anymore, because you have now got a different a job. It's completely different, and now you've got nothing in common anymore, and they don't want you around because you're no longer like them anymore. And who do you think you are? Where do you think what do you think you are? Who do you think? It's like, this is what it's all about. And these things are so important. I do feel as if I want to say one thing though. There is a difference between being called and those that pretend to walk a spiritual path, those that do it for likes, clickbait, and for just to be in the crowd. I'm talking about, when the pupil is ready, the teacher appears. So it's not like, I'm running around or looking for a teacher. It just happened. And that's true spiritual awakening. I think a lot of people are awakening at wrong times, or trying to awake at wrong times, and they're doing it for the wrong reasons. That's a different story. I'm talking about you guys who literally, your eyes opened and you were called by, I believe, Spirit to serve a greater purpose in this world. And then everything else, the material things and all that stuff, doesn't mean anything anymore. And people look at you as if you're crazy. They think there's something wrong with you, So for me, I kind of look at it like that, I end up, I've spoke about this before, like in Spain here, it's predominantly Catholic. So I like to do blessings, ceremonies a lot outside or out here or in here. And that is a cleansing with, sacred blessed water. I like to use Palo Santo and so on. So I'll do it outside in here. Like if I'm outside, people will look up and think I'm crazy, literally crazy. And, you get used to that. And like, I'm not doing it. I'm not bothered what you think I am. I don't care whether you think I'm crazy, right? But I just get on with it, and I have done for 2 decades. When I fly over to an island, and it's called Bali, and you walk on the streets, and everybody is doing the same as what I do here, it's like, wow, I'm at home. I can actually do my cleansing ceremony and nobody will even look twice. And thus, it's not that you need to look for those people. You don't have to look for your tribe, or I think my understanding more so is it was at the beginning, well, I need to find my tribe. No, you don't need to find your tribe at all. That's another form of what I've just said. The need of the others. They're needing somebody like them. Now you're needing somebody like you are now. That's not that important, actually. When you come to terms with your awakening and what you see and what you feel, and you embrace that, and it's beautiful, and you get so much from it, and you share that information with those that want to hear, that's should be surely enough. And the way you speak in the way that others may hate you, others may just not understand at all, is probably because we speak in a way that maybe they're not meant to understand either. Maybe we're not meant to share certain information with people, not everybody. And so many people make that mistake, who think they're spiritual and then they want to tell everybody, listen to me, I've got it. Like, no, it doesn't. It's not really. If you were really truly spiritual and you were really chosen by Spirit has never asked anybody to go up to you and start telling you what you need and what you should do. When the spirit world calls you, it's because they will bring people to you. And that is the truth. And it pisses a lot of people off on here. I get a lot of angry people. Well, how am I meant to get anybody? Hey, don't get upset with me. I'm just telling you how it truly works. That's the real work. Spirit, I was up on top of a mountain here, and people were drawn to the mountain to come and have a healing session. I didn't advertise. It just happened. Word of mouth, one after another, and they're drawn to you. They come up the stairs, they don't know why, and they see a sign on outside the door. Wow, I'm going to go in and have a reading or a healing. But you're not going with a loudspeaker. You're not like many people that I met were so persistent in telling people what was wrong with him. And to me, I literally want to throw up when I see that. I literally feel sick. And it makes me realize that then they were never called at all. And they're in a pain and suffering because they don't realize that nothing's working for them, nothing's happening for them, everything's going wrong, everybody hates them all the time, everybody's attacking them. Well, you know, maybe it's because of the way you behave. So for me, coming to terms with, you know, this awakening and realizing that the right people will come to you is a brilliant thing. And if they're not meant to come to you, then it's meant for you to continue to learn and really delve into your awakening. What is this? What is the meditation? What is, you know, what is prayer? In the sense of not religion, but, you know, speaking to spirit. And that's, to me, that's like a prayer. When I speak to my mum, it's like a prayer. And I ask my mum things and she may contact me back and speak back to me. Or the nice thing is, the signs outside. So we have to become more aware. And if all we're ever doing is worrying about what she's and what he did and what, you know, why won't anybody listen to me? Nobody's listening to me. They're not listening to you because they're not meant to. They're not on your energetic frequency level and understanding. So you'll never be able to talk to them, and you can still live an earthly life around these people. You just don't interact in the way that you would with somebody who maybe needs your help. So I'm very different around my family than I would be that somebody would come to me and say, I need a healing and a session. And then I speak in clear words. But then when I'm around, you know, my family and that don't understand, and other people that don't understand, I kind of speak in metaphor, really, so that they don't understand. I don't want them to understand because there's just no point. There just literally isn't any point, because you're going to know that you can't talk to somebody who's not on that level at all. They'll just they'll glaze, or they'll get angry, or they'll think you're bloody crazy. So there's just no point. And I've seen so many people get so wound up in this and so upset in this. And then, you know, the whole world falls apart. And I guess that's one of the reasons why people will say, and that's why a lot of so-called spiritual people say, be careful, where, you know, you don't want to get awakened because, it can be all difficult. It's only all difficult because you are finding it difficult, because you don't understand that some people are not ready for what you're receiving. And if you're trying to get it out there because you want people to know, because partly you want people to know, partly you want people to know how amazing you are and how talented you are and what you've learned. Actually, it doesn't work that way at all. Simple words can touch people so much easier than going deep in spiritual, you know, conversation. So for me, it's when you are awakened to truth and you see truth, you share that truth, but you don't bully people. You don't, you know, spiritually bash them over the head like Bible bashers do. And you certainly don't walk inside a house without somebody inviting you in, because you get ready for the repercussions of that. And when you, I just leave you on this note. If you are truly awakening right now, because you're never awakened, you're only awakening. You have a drop of, you're a drop of sand on a beach. That's all you are, just like me. And we're learning every day. We're trying to understand things and navigate through this life. And we're trying to observe and listen and hear this awakening of light that we see things. You know, just look up and say, thank you for choosing me. Thanks for bringing me into this, because I could have been eating, drinking, sleeping and working every day until I died. But you've shown me something that I never saw before. So you've chosen me for a reason. So I tell you what, I'm just going to leave it up to you to bring people in my life when you are ready, and I will share what I now see. But other than that, I ain't going out there preaching. I'm not going out there telling people what to do. So that's a great start. When you feel confident enough and you realize you've gone past that stage of caring what other people think, and you know your truth and you want to share that truth, you can start up a channel. You can do some writing. You can write a book. You can write blogs. You could offer a circle night like I did, and invite people if they want to come. Just say, would you like to come to a circle night? You don't tell them what you're doing and what you don't tell them what they should think. You just announce yourself saying, I've got a circle night. I'm doing healing, and I'm going to share some truths about what I've learned thus far. And then it's up to the people, as I believe, it's the spirit world will guide the right people to your door. When you're walking along the street and you sit down, somebody might sit next to you and start talking to you, and then they might ask you, so what do you do then? And you're like maybe a bit embarrassed because you don't want them to get upset, and just say, well, I've started recently walking a path, more of a spiritual path. Oh, I'm interested, please tell me. Again, the door has now been opened, so you share your truth. But if you're sat with somebody and say, oh, guess what, I'm spiritual, listen to me, it's like, no, you don't do that. So yeah, there is a battle once we are awakened to it between light and dark. We see that every day. The awakening helps us see that, and we do our best to, I guess, speak in ways that are a little bit more mystical, that other people don't understand, mystical, or in just ways that are a little bit more thought-provoking. Like my mind is having to think about what was just said, and I have to think about, so you grab the right people who are in that energy, in that thought process, in that light, in that enlightenment. So that's it really. To a degree, I think when you are called on the path of truth and awakening, I think we all go through what I've just shared with you. I don't think nobody's exempt. We're all at some point in the eye of the storm, whether it's a family member who attacks us, whether it's a best friend, or whether we lose our partner, whether we lose our job, whatever it is. I think we all go through that, and I don't think anybody's really exempt to it. But hopefully what I've shared with you today might make you think a little bit, ponder on it, sit down about it, and what I share with you is what I went through and what helped me most of all. And I truly mean this with my hand on my heart. When I say I don't care what people think, I care about people, but I do understand the difference between somebody who has no understanding of what I'm talking about. It's just like if somebody started talking to me about equations and pie charts, and they sat down and tried to explain it to me, it's like, I'm sorry, mate, but you're wasting your energy, you're wasting your time. It doesn't matter in my life. It's not something that I'm interested in at all. Because if I was, it would be probably because I was doing something with numbers, but I'm not. So why force that on me? I'm just not interested. Do you not understand that I'm not interested at all? Because I'm not bothered about numbers at the moment. Not interested. If I was into, let's say, numerology, maybe there might be some interest there. And I say, oh, sit down, please tell me. Well, that's the same with spirituality. You can't sit somebody down and start talking enlightenment, or you can't sit somebody down and start talking truth to them if it serves no purpose in their life and it means nothing to them. So for me, that understanding is an extremely powerful golden nugget of truth. So like I said, leave it on a final note, which is, okay guys, you chose me. I'm here. When you want anybody to listen to what I've got, I'll just do my best. Other than that, I ain't going to say anything to anybody. All right? And that is really, I think, a brilliant thing. I think it'll save you from a lot of pain and suffering just to get on with life. Yes, you may say, but I don't want to listen to, my parents anymore. I don't want to listen to my siblings. I don't want to listen to my friends anymore. They serve no purpose to me. Fine. Then you're elevating, and you don't have to fall out with them. You love them for who they are, but you've changed. You don't look down on them because you've elevated, because you're not actually elevating. You're not actually awake and aware. You're in ego. So you love people, and yes, there are times that you're not interested in that conversation. I get that, and you have to figure out what's important. Arm's length, small doses, or do I go somewhere else, which I did. I was gone. I came to Spain, so no friends. And now everybody comes into your life that needs to come into your life. When the pupil's ready, the teacher appears. And that's how my progression started, all by chance or coincidence or Spirit's helping hand. So, yeah. I guess that's it, really. I hope this helped a little bit. It can be slippery, but enjoy the ride. Bloody bananas. Have a great day.